All right, Entangled review. Let's see what we got.
Social media at the moment is full of people with wooden chopping boards like this, telling you they avoid poisons, avoid shit, and that only truly then are they thriving. And while I find myself agreeing that not eating shit is pretty sanitary, I think they're doing a pretty good job.
So first of all, this is one of the common tactics that you see in mainstream, diet and health advice. Is your body, your health is not simply a cup. It's not simply black and white. It's not calories in, calories out. It's not as simple as that. There are multiple layers that affect each other. And that's why my thing is called Entangled, because everything affects each other. So let's see what he says.
Reasonably good shape. The shirtless chaps are pressing the idea that organically farmed, pasture-raised, GMO,
real food, yeah, that's probably what you should put in your body if you want to be a healthy individual. You probably shouldn't put junk in your body. It's common sense, but people are always looking for an excuse to have a cheat day or to rationalize poor decision making. And that wouldn't be happening if your mental health, your dopamine, your serotonin, all those things actually work correctly, which we'll cover more in this video why.
This will start to subtract health because you're a sheeple and big government are lying to you. Which government, you ask? Who knows? We don't really do specific.
Well, so fruit really depends on where you are on the planet. If you're up in the northern latitudes, fruit doesn't grow there. So it's not good for you to eat because there's higher levels of deuterium, which UV light is required to offset, which is only present on the equator or near that area of the world. So recommending fruit just in general is terrible advice because fruit is like the highest source of pesticides in non-organic fruit, especially the berries, which are the most expensive foods. It's funny how they make the most expensive and the least nutritious and the most toxic fruit the expensive. That's what they market the most. Then vegetables. Well, are there any vegetables that are actually proven to be digested? Because all the actual evidence just shows that vegetables are very high in lectins, very high in phytic acid, very high in just anti-nutrients altogether. And what little micronutrients there are in vegetables, you cannot digest those things at all. Protein, yeah, of course. But really it depends what kind of protein. Is it fresh? Is it frozen? Is it toxic? Is it full of vaccines, antibiotics, pesticides, corn, soy? All of these things make a big difference. Fiber is something that you cannot digest and is absolutely useless for the human body.
1,000 calories, which are wasn't too sure.
Well, first of all, it's funny how fat is not mentioned because raw fat is the most important thing that the human body needs. Hormones are made out of fat. Your brain is made out of fat. Skin is made out of fat. All of these things require high quality raw fat. Usually is best from animal fat, from dairy, from eggs, sometimes from plants with avocado and coconut. But really, fat from animal is the best, and it's going to protect your body from all the modern day toxicity in the environment and in our foods and just in the world in general. And yeah, activity, that's fun. Well, sleeping seven
activity a week, that's a dog
up to 9 hours, that's great. But quantity of sleep really is meaningless if the quality is that bad. If you're going to bed at 1 a.m. and you're waking up at 10 a.m., that is far worse than going to bed at 10 p.m. and waking up at 5 a.m. Quality of sleep is far more important than quantity of sleep. And that's one of the most common things I see from mainstream experts is they just totally disregard how important the creation of melatonin is in morning sunlight and the secretion of melatonin in the evening in the absence of light.
That's a cushion. All of that is going to nearly fill this cup. Do that stuff most of the time and you're pretty much going to be up around here. If the rest of your calories are made up with some stuff like this and your body weight isn't considerably rising...
Well, calories is not how the body works at all. Calories is a made-up, man-made metric to then market to you low-calorie foods. It's literally not how the body works at all, and this has been proven for years. But, of course, it's so ingrained into the mainstream idea of food, eat less, low calories, buy low calorie. It's not how the body works at all. And there's a reason why top class athletes who are so-called freaks of nature can eat a bunch of garbage candy food and they play great. Goes to show that a lot of what you hear in the mainstream about diet is totally false and made up. But I do agree with the general message of what he's saying, is because a lot of these guys about health and diet are totally dweebs. They're kind of nerds. And in reality, if you do the right things most of the time, you can so-called splurge in the 10%, 5% of your diet if everything else is correct. But the big thing that he's missing is light is more important than what you eat. Sunlight in the day and the darkness at night is more important than the food going in your body, because that's how the mitochondria runs off. And the mitochondria is what creates ATP in the body and basically dictates every functionality in the human body from the cell up.